Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about writing the first draft of your copy, or the first iteration, that is. Now, I want to preface this with I am not a copywriter. I am self-taught. I took courses, I took other things, I've put in a lot of practice, and I want to make it very clear that the first time you write these out, it is going to be extremely difficult unless you have prior writing experience. When I wrote out my first landing page, it was the most difficult thing I'd ever done, right? And I'm talking about from like a structured standpoint when I knew what to write, but it just wasn't coming to me. And so trust me when I say that practice makes perfect. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know what the process is, but just by writing it out and forcing out the writing, more ideas will come to your head and it will get better over time. And soon enough, you'll be able to fill this out extremely quick. I was able to write this out for the new product in maybe an hour or two in the morning. And it's just because it comes to you, right? Once you're used to writing short, impactful tweets and even newsletters and other things, it just works, right? Because you understand what's going to make people read through it. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take this, which is in the curriculum above this video, I'll link to this, and you can either you can copy, it'll say duplicate up here. You can duplicate it so you have it for later, but in the meantime, you can copy all of this. So copy all of this. So it doesn't say copy, but you can press Command C or Control C on your keyboard and it'll copy it. And then what you do is in your project, so this is my project inside the command center, right? Where I have the project right here, 2-Hour Writer, it's a product, and I have everything in here so far, and I created a new page. So in order to create a new page, you're gonna have to create some space, and then you just do /page, and then that's how you create a page, and then you can name it landing page copy or whatever you would like. And then inside of here, you paste this, and then you can start to fill it out in your own project, right? So here is what I wrote and a bit of the thought process behind things. So eyebrow, the future belongs to the creative. Now, this is a statistic that I actually heard from listening to the book Company of One, right? So it's kind of unrelated because I'm not talking about business here per se. I'm talking about writing. But I was reading the book. It's on Audible. I listen to audiobooks on my walk and just take notes of things that pop into my head. But there was a statistic where it said 62% of labor jobs will be phased out in the next 10 years. Now, I'm coming at this from the creative angle because there's a lot of like copyright, not a lot, but there's copywriting products out there. There's just writing products. And I want to build a name. I want to build some authority around creativity. So because I see that as an open space and people have a misconception of what creativity actually is. And so the future belongs to the creative. That's my big idea because I can lead into it with this. It's also a part of the problem, right? A big problem. And so with the headline, I've always not been very good at headlines. I'm never very confident in my headlines. So take this with a grain of salt. Sometimes I just put it, run with it, and it works, right? So don't feel like you have to get everything perfect here because it's just impossible. It's not going to be possible. So you can brainstorm a few of these and pick the best one or however you want to do it, right? And so you have to keep in mind who I'm targeting here and who my audience is composed of, who I can help the most. It's people that want to make an income as a creative. Now I have to redefine creativity for them so they understand that like you need some persuasion, marketing, and sales knowledge, but that's who I'm targeting. People who want to do what they enjoy and maximize the enjoyment in their life. They want to work less, earn more, enjoy life. That's kind of my USP. That's on my website. It's a little slogan. You don't need one of those, but you need to understand who you can help the most. And that's who I'm helping here. So the headline that I chose or that I wrote down, start your writing business in 2 hours or less per day. I scratched this one because I don't want it to be about business. I want it to be about the skill of writing, right? And in that case, I can also lump in people that already have a creator business that are writing newsletters or tweets or whatever and want to write better. So the headline is both targeting beginners and beginners in business. And so this is what I came up with after. It's learn the recession-proof skill for the new economy without needing a blah, blah, blah degree. Now, what this is it's kind of implying a problem, right? It's implying a problem. It's not directly stating it. It's recession. Now, I don't really I am good at self-awareness in my copy because I don't want this to be just straight fear-mongering. I'm kind of I'm playing off of the state of the world right now, and this will probably change after a few iterations, and once I have better ideas, I can go back in and change it. But that's what I chose to do, and then without needing a blah 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 degree. Now that's a relevant problem or inconvenience that a lot of people face in these times. So that was just my thought process, right? It kind of follows a good thread hook. And for the sub headline, so right here I've got an implied problem, implied big problem, and I've got minus the inconvenience, and the promise actually comes later, but this is the promise. Learn the recession-proof skill. Learn to write is the promise in a sense. It's clear, and it gets clearer as we go down, because what we're also doing here is we're opening a curiosity loop. You don't want to give everything away up front because you want people to continue reading and figure it out, right? So in the subheadline, I implement our 3-point content ecosystem to learn creative writing and boost your online authority. So right here, I hint at the unique mechanism, right? And for this risk reversal, we'll get to that. But implement our 3-point content ecosystem to learn creative writing and boost your online authority. So this is kind of implying a target where people that want to learn creative writing and boost their online authority. I would say that is pretty specific in who it is actually targeting. What a lot of people miss is they think they have to call out exactly like the label. So like a creator or a freelancer or a corporate professional or something. No, it's more so show, don't tell, or let people categorize themselves and see if they relate to your writing, right? And so now with social proof, I've reached out. We'll talk about this in a later section, but I reached out to Justin Welsh. I have a testimonial from Tim Denning, reached out to Ed Lattimore, and that's all I'm going to use is 3, right? And those are pretty high authority people. Again, stressing the importance of networking and having skin and time in the game is what leads to this. I can reach out to, I'm friends with these people, so I have a bit of a bonus there, right? And so now the lead is where I like to bullet spray problems. So like a list tweet, when you have a bunch of bullet points, it kind of allows people to categorize themselves and relate to a specific bullet point. And so here I kind of brought up the big idea again to catch and hold attention to continue reading down the page. So this is the problem stated directly, and it's including jobs that require high level skill. All signs have been pointing toward creative work for a while now. And this is just me writing, right? There's nothing fancy behind this. It's like, okay, what should I write here? And this is what came to mind for me. And then there's a Naval quote, which I was going to show you this after, but I started building out the landing page. And the Naval quote was, if the work doesn't require creativity, delegate it, automate it, or leave it, Naval. So again, it's kind of just strengthening my argument and having people go down the actual page, right? And again, a lot of this comes with practice, like knowing, like just to me, I knew what the quote was. I knew that it would help. It came to mind, and then I put it in there, right? There's nothing fancy about this process aside from just that was kind of like in my mental database, not even my other database of like insights or big ideas or things that I've captured into the queue and other things. So it's just very interesting. And then I said here, but before I waste any more of your time with my doomsday speculations, see, there's a self-awareness where I felt this is kind of an intuitive skill if you want to practice this. But if you ever feel off when you're writing something, then just write about how you are actually aware of that. You're self-aware, and that will take away a lot and throw in some humor, right? And so let's see if you should continue reading. If you do not relate with one of the bullets below, you're free to leave the page. Nothing fancy behind that, just kind of, I don't have a thought process behind that. And so you have multiple interests, and a lot of these are coming and being iterated on from your actual marketing strategy. So in the marketing strategy, we have all of this firepower written out from the last module or 2 modules ago. And let's see. So the big problem, and I can use a lot of these, but what I did is I read over them and I started to rewrite them to fit into the copy. This is kind of just like a brain dump. And a lot of these, they're very similar, right? So I'm trying to word them in the best way possible. And where did it go? Oh, so that's what you're using as like feedback for these areas. And you can copy and paste directly because you already have them written out, right? And so continuing down, you have multiple interests but don't know how to attract people to your work. You need people if you want money in the future. You already have a one-person business and want to enhance the quality of your social media posts, newsletters, and other long-form content. You haven't started learning a skill and want to learn one that you can sell on its own or enhance the impact of every other in-demand skill, etc., etc. Now, with these, what you're trying to do is just like have someone relate to what you're saying, right? And a lot of these are your former problems on the issue. And so you just put them in bullet points here, and then this will easily translate over to a page. So it's the same thing. Boom, 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 and then the bullet points, right? So going on, for the body, I'm doing this very quick, where I don't mean quick. I'm doing more short form, and I'm trying to fit it in the shortest and most impactful way possible so people get all the way to the call to action. A lot of people get to the call to action by reading through and not getting bored in a sense, right? And so I will let you read through this and you can start to dissect it, but pretty much what I did in the actual body is I am presenting my argument with authority and implying some form of a transformation. And that's the main thing, is you're presenting your argument in the body, how with whatever firepower you can, whether it be a client testimonial, client experience, your own personal experience, your own transformation, and including value along with that. And so, hey, I'm Dan, I'm a brand advisor for solopreneurs, and you don't have to follow this exactly. Like the difficult thing with going over my copy is that it's going to be completely different from yours, and I cannot tell you how to write the copy because I am not you. So that's the whole purpose of iteration and experience, is you're not going to get this right the first time. It's going to take a few months, and you also have to take into account that the copy is important, but it's more important for those that don't have an audience, right? Or don't have a public resume per se. It's more so when they're targeting cold, it's direct response marketing, where you're choosing a specific target, you are advertising towards them, or cold email or whatever it is, and you're trying to get them to read down the page, hit the most perfect pain points possible for that specific target. Now with an audience where you have like a grab bag of different personalities, that's going to be very difficult to do. So your job is to come in and accurately explain what it is that they are getting, the problems that they could be potentially facing, the benefits they could get from your product, and just be as clear as possible of what they're getting. And copy isn't as important as people make it sound online, right? Because the copywriters are the ones that are doing the direct response marketing via Facebook ads or cold email. They're not doing it towards an audience, right? So that is one distinction that really has to be made. And it is important that you have high quality copy that shows your authority and all of these other things. But I do not want you to get so caught up, like I personally was in the past, about like what exactly is being said. If you're getting the point across of the problems that it solves, showing your authority, and if you don't have authority, then you need to be very clear with your argument and actually be able to back that up and then go on from there. So you can read this on the landing page when it goes out, or I can give you access to this. And so the next thing after the body, and this is pretty much all just me saying, here's 3 reasons why writing is absolutely necessary, right? This could be a blog post or a newsletter if I wanted it to be. And so next thing is the unique mechanism. So what has writing done to my life? And here I'm painting a picture of like what it is that makes this product unique, right? What is it that is unique to me? What's the unique system that I've developed that is going to help them write and get a specific result with it? And for that, for me, is the 3-point content ecosystem that I've developed through writing a long form newsletter, kind of reverse engineering how I write it, putting that into Notion, and just creating these systems, right? It's just a constant process. It doesn't all come at once. It's not like I just came in and built it all out and it's like, oh, time to sell it. It's like, no, I put these into practice myself. I've helped other people with them. And that's exactly what we're doing here. And so in the offer introduction, this is where I start to pretty much tell them what is going to be in the course. And I do this with benefits rich language. Now, it looks better on the landing page because I started to iterate already. And I liked how I did it in this fashion. So we have all this. Shout out to Skeel. I'm using you to enhance my argument that you can get a job, right? So it's helpful. And don't pay attention to these yet. This isn't done. But when I am starting to introduce the offer, I have this is the first section, high impact writing foundations. And then I have like a little intro to what's going on or giving some context, right? And then I go into bullet points again, bullet point benefits. What are they going to learn in that module? And then this is just a bonus that I throw in. You don't need something like this, but it could be helpful. I honestly don't know. See, nobody knows how well these things do. You know what the conversion rate is, and you can start to test and make things better from there. But you're still without like super advanced like eye tracking software. You don't know what's holding people's attention. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Just put across what the course is about in this format, and then pop it into a landing page, whether it be on Card and Components UI, which I talk about in the curriculum, or on Gumroad as a first timer, and I would recommend that. So and you see, it's just doing the same thing. So this is what I did is I have the module or what the module is about, a bit of context, and then bullet point benefits of what they're going to learn in that module. And this is going to be almost the opposite or the solution to these problems up top, right? As we discussed in the curriculum. And now going down further, bonuses. So I'm going to throw in one of my older courses that I made that I give away for Modern Mastery subscribers. And it's just a Twitter course, right? So helping them implement their writing and start to do it on Twitter, right? And then I'm also going to give them a swipe file of my best tweets with some breakdowns. And then after that, you go over social proof. Now, if you don't have social proof, that's fine. Forget about it and continue down the page, right? But in this case, I have social proof that I can use that are from my clients, and they're more so general testimonials. So if you have clients or people of high value that are willing to give you a testimonial, then ask for one. Ask for one for them just to give you an endorsement. You, not necessarily your product, but give you an endorsement so that you have something to put on there. And now I wouldn't do this with like friends or family. I would do it for people that are within your domain of mastery or just in the environment that you're immersed in. So a community on Twitter or whatever social media platform you are on. And I think you can get the gist of what I'm saying with that, right? So the next thing is the risk reversal and guarantee. Now, I have been at this for a while. This is kind of just an impulsive move from my end where I don't have I don't want to check my emails and give refunds. So I make it very clear here that there are no refunds on this product. 0 exceptions. I give 2 reasons why and present an argument. And that's it. And if someone asks me for a refund, then I'll probably give them a refund. But I'm putting it here just for the sake, there's a bit of like marketing tactics here. I wouldn't recommend it for beginners, but sometimes this way, showing confidence in your own product, can lead to more sales. So this is just like my way of doing that. But in other cases, you can just add the 30-day money back guarantee, which I would recommend for beginners. Or if it's a service, you can throw in a more complex risk reversal. Like if you're doing social media growth, then you can promise 10,000 followers for, let's say, $10,000. And that's what you do for work. You work with them until they hit that. And if they don't hit that, it doesn't matter about a time frame, then you either refund their money or you work with them until they hit 10,000 followers, right? Or for a cohort, I offer to roll people over for free if they have anything come up. But aside from that, there's no refunds, right? So this is up to you. Again, none of this is set in stone. I would treat this more so as a copywriting framework and get better as you get more experienced over time. Now, with the call to action, the call to action in copywriting is one, reminding them of a big problem that they're facing, right? So all in all, I think we can both agree that we have no idea where the world will be 10 years from now. What I do know is that writing is the path to 2 to 4 hour workdays, a restful lifestyle, and the ability to pursue your genuine interests full time. I've done it. My clients have done it. My 3,000 plus students have done it and are in the process of doing it. I could put that in the parentheses. I hope to see you inside the course. And then on the actual page itself, this is how you're going to structure, usually with a template, like a sales page template with your own colors, how this is going to look, right? And if it's on Gumroad, then the call to action is already there. It already shows the price. So you don't have to list the price or change anything, right? And then in the frequently asked questions, it's self-explanatory, right? And so for the pricing, in the next video in this section, I'm going to go over a few of my other landing pages, but this is actually a duplicated template from this cohort that at the end of putting all the copy in here, I'm going to go in and change the colors, designs, and other things. And so in this one, I didn't design this. This comes from a template, right? And so it already has these here, and then all you need to do is fill in the blanks with your marketing firepower, right? So I hope that makes sense. And with all this landing page stuff, it's not worth it for me to put a tutorial in this course for a specific landing page software because it's all unique. It's all dependent on what best fits your situation, and you can talk and ask about that and what is going to fit your situation. But in a lot of times, it's going to be Gumroad. It's going to be when you commit to purchasing a specific membership software like Teachable or Kartra or Kajabi and using their landing page software, or using Card or WordPress or Webflow or whatever it could be, and then following what we talked about in the bachelor's curriculum with the intelligent imitation process and just how to learn in general, is you start building it out and then you watch tutorials on how to do specific things that the roadblocks you're hitting while creating the design, and then you just fill it in with what you wrote and have fun designing it. Treat it as a challenge. So that is it for this video.